Hello and welcome to another macro video. Today we're looking at problems. Being realistic, macros do go wrong sometimes, so let's first look at how we can avoid problems, and then secondly what to do when problems do occur. Some of our macros, especially the analysis ones, can take quite a long time to run on a whole book with tens of thousands of words, so it's worth trying them out on a smaller file, but not too small. So let's have a look at some text and give it a go. This is 86,000 words, bit on the big side, so suppose we're wanting to try running proper nounalize. So best bet is to select some text but not too much, so maybe here, shift select, and what have we got there? We've picked up 5,000 words. Okay, that'll do. So copy that, create a new file and paste that in there. So then we can run proper nounalize just to give it a go. Proper nounalize, yes please. So off it goes and it's working, looks okay. How long is it going to take? It's finished. Okay, that's fine. So it didn't take too long with 5,000 words, so maybe we can try on the 86,000 words for that. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that sample file. And let's go back up to the top there. What I've said there is be patient, don't make any sudden moves. If the macro doesn't seem to be doing very much, I mean, proper nounalize is fairly busy on screen, but some of the others you don't see much going on screen and you think, it's not working, it's not doing anything. The most important single thing you want to learn from this video is don't click on the screen. If nothing seems to be happening, please don't click on the screen. Better still, don't even touch the mouse. Take your hand off the mouse and leave it alone and wait and see what happens. Now, some of the macros you can actually stop them midstream, and for that we use control break. In other words, hold the control key down and press the break key, which on my keyboard at least is top right. It's marked pause and break. So if we run proper nounalize on this full file of 86,000 words, get started. If it goes, I think, no, I don't want to do this. So hold the control key down, press break, and wait, be patient, wait, and there we go. It's actually stopped. It's now saying Microsoft Visual Basic code execution has been interrupted. So we don't want to go into Visual Basic and actually look at the macro, we just want to end, so we click end. We were given two options there. We were given end and debug, so we wanted to just end. So let's get rid of that now and get rid of the files that it had created while it was working. So let's go on now to think what we should do if the macro does actually go wrong. So let's try another macro. Let's try hyphenalize. So hyphenalize, yes. Oh dear, it's created an error now then. What do we do when we get an error? Well, first thing to do is to see what the error is. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. If we click debug, then that takes us into the macro, and the first thing we can check there at the top there is reset, which stops the macro running. So I can look and see that this is version 24.10.16, so that's October last year. Is this the latest version? Copy hyphenalize, copy the name. I know better still, let's copy sub hyphenalize, because we want to have a look in the book and see if that is the latest version of the macro. So let's go down here. Is it the latest version? So I've copied the name sub hyphenalize if I bring in now the, oops, you didn't see that, I want to find out if this is, so I use find clip top to find sub -alias, and yes, this is 24.10.16, so I have got the latest version of the macro, so that's not the problem. If you haven't got the latest version, then you want to load the latest version, then I'll deal with that in a few minutes. So, okay, that wasn't the problem. It wasn't that it was an out-of-date version, so let's try it again. See how we get on. -i's, yes. Okay, right. The next thing to do then is to report the error to me, and I'll see if I can find out what's going on. What I need to know is what the error message is. Now it says runtime error 5941. That really doesn't help at all. Those numbers don't mean anything. Well, they don't to me. But it says the requested member of the collection does not exist. Record that somewhere, scribble it on a bit of paper or type it into another application on your computer so that you can report that to me, and then click on debug. And what we've got there now is Visual Basic. I don't want the whole lot, move it along. So I'm saying record the text of the error message, and now we can see that it's highlighting the line on the line it was trying to do when it came up with that problem. So that's the other thing I need to know. It's the line that says my text equals such and such. So the best thing to do there is to first of all stop the macro running with a reset button. That's the square stop button at the top, and then select just a few lines, doesn't matter really, just a few lines there, and copy that, and then you can send that to me. So if we create a new file and pop that text in there, now it was the my text line on which the error occurred. So if I just highlight that, then if I if I send that text to Paul Beverley, to me, then it'll give me some idea, or it might give me some idea of what's going wrong. Okay, so the other thing I want to deal with here, get rid of that, is how to get the latest version of a given macro and put it in your computer. So let's suppose that we are doing proper nounalize, and that's gone wrong. So no, change my mind, let's use -alias because that's the one which we've got there. Okay, so we can either completely replace that with the new version, or we can replace part the main body of the macro and just leave the name. So let's try the easier version, the easier way to upgrade it first, and that is if I use Alt F8 to bring up the macros window and go for -alias, -alias there, then I can simply delete that macro. -alias delete. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I do. So now I want to pick up that. I've got to close that window. If I bring in the macros file, this is the macros. This is where all the macros are in my book. So if I want to select the macro, it's quite a big macro. I'm lazy. I use macro select, so I click somewhere in the macro and I run the macro select, which actually will select the whole of the macro. I copy macros a lot of the time, as you can imagine, so I use that quite a bit. So you could copy that. Otherwise, you would click above the macro and use bookmark temp add, and then find the end sub. I'm actually using Smart Finder there, just out of habit. Find end sub, so then I can use bookmark to cursor select, which is that one. Actually, I've got to go a bit further, haven't I? Select a bit more. So then copy that and then I can move that out the way. Alt F11 to bring up the Visual Basic window, and then I can paste and make sure where I'm pasting it. Make sure you paste it between an end sub and a sub. Doesn't matter where in the whole of Visual Basic you put it, as long as it's in between the end of one macro and the beginning of the next. So if I paste it in there, we've got it in there. I like to tidy it up, but that's me. I'm OCD. So I've got the macro in there, but of course, having deleted the macro, I've lost the link between the keystroke that I use and that particular macro. So if I close Visual Basic and then I run custom keys, so if I go for H -alize, oops, there it was, -alize, it's got no key assigned to it. Click in, press new shortcut key, and put in my shortcut, which is Control-Alt-Shift-H, and assign that, and then close, and then I'm ready to try running -alize again. The other way that I update macros, which maintains the keystroke allocation, is this is -alize. Yep. Control up will take me, Control up arrow will take me to the beginning of that one. So what I do if I want to keep that, I will select not the word sub -alize, and then I've got to go all the way down through the macro until I get to the end of it, which is coming up here. So shift click and get rid of that. So all I've got is the beginning and the end of the macro. Then I go bring back the macros file. It's already selected there, so if I copy that, what I do now, quick cheat, well, not a cheat, but if I create a new file and paste the macro in there, then I can get rid of the end sub, go to the top and get rid of the name, the sub and the name. Then I can select all that, that's the meat of the macro if you like, copy that, put that out of the way, and then paste that in there. And again, I like to just tidy up, don't like sort of lots of blank spaces. Control up arrow to the top here, there we are, that's all nice and neat. So that's the other way of updating the macros, to the latest version of a given macro. Right, well that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I did that in one take, which is amazing. Anyway, just to say, of course, that as I said in the previous video, if you do come across an error, don't be afraid to ask me, because by doing so you might be saving somebody else having the same sort of problems. Report the problems, I'll try and fix them, sort out the instructions in the book or whatever needs doing, and then other people won't have the same problem you had. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.